Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains episode summary video. So in this video, we will be going over the episode 44 summary along with the very small cast list, the episode 45 summary, which is extremely brief, and the title for episode 46. So I cannot wait to give my thoughts on this, and I cannot wait to hear from you guys as well. I will also be giving my formal prediction on the Revolver and Playmaker duel, how I think this duel is going to conclude, who I think is going to win, whether there will be a winner or will there be another draw, no result. I'll give my thoughts on that after I go over the summaries and give my thoughts on those. So, without further ado, let's begin. If you do not want any spoilers, now is your time to click off the video. 3, 2, 1, here we go. So episode 44, Prisoners of Destiny. Having learned the truth hidden by the Ignis and the truth behind the lost incident, Playmaker tries to persuade Revolver to stop the Tower of Hanoi. Unfortunately, his words fail to convince Revolver. Having been driven into a corner, Playmaker entrusts all his hopes to his new ace monster. So the cast, Yusaku / Playmaker, AI, Kusanagi, Ryokin / Revolver, Frog / Pigeon. So no shocks there. In terms of script, we have Yoshida writing these episodes. He wrote episode 43 as well. What's interesting to note, DMC, who translated this, big thank you to him, also made note that Yoshida is actually co-writing this with someone else, Misaki Tachihara. That could be just more of a sign that Yoshida is very busy, not only with the Arc 5 manga, but he is also working on a new show with Ono, who was the director of Arc 5 and of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. So Yoshida, a lot on his plate. Interesting that he is having a co-writer. He wrote the entire first duel that they had way back in like episode 8, 9, 10, 11, and he was the only writer for those duels. So that's something interesting to note. Episode 45, an Extreme Duel. Revolver sets up the ultimate battle formation that transcends human intellect itself and drives Playmaker into a corner. It is so extra, right? It is written so extra, but at the same time, it's pretty awesome. The ultimate battle formation that transcends human intellect itself and drives Playmaker into a corner. So that is really, really interesting. And then we have the episode 46 title, which is titled The Circuit That Draws the Future. So most likely, that seems like it's going to be the last episode, right? That really does seem like that's going to be the finishing episode of this arc, of this duel, of this season, especially because episode 46, if you want to fast forward a little bit, will take place on April 4th, which we know a new opening is coming in April. We don't have an exact date, but I imagine that new opening will be here, maybe episode 47, 48, could be episode 46. 46 could be the first episode that we do see the new opening, but I think that's probably going to be mid-April. Also, be on the lookout for a new ending announcement. I'd imagine the ending will be changing. Usually they announce the ending after they announce the opening. There's already been quite a distance, though, between when the opening was announced and the fact that we still don't have any confirmation on a new ending. You know, the second we hear something about that, I will cover that in a video, but as of now, we don't have any confirmation on the ending, writing life, changing anytime soon. So, just very, very interesting stuff, and let's, rewind it to episode 44 and 45, because there's a few key things that we can take from these summaries in terms of what we can look forward to. First of all, Playmaker, the final line in episode 44 summary, Playmaker entrusts all his hopes to his new ace monster. I just did a video a couple days ago, I believe it was on Thursday, about Cyber's Magician, which is a new monster that Playmaker is going to be using, and this monster has 2,500 attack, 2,000 defense, the same stats as Elemental Hero Neos, the same stats as Stardust Dragon, as Utopia, as Odd Eyes. It's the same stats as almost all of the aces, so this very well could be the monster they are referring to. However, I felt like this was a monster, Cyber's Magician, and if you have not seen that video, definitely check it out. Just head to my channel. It'll be one of my more recent videos. That is a ritual monster, so that's why that is really, really cool, and I made a whole separate video on it, so that should be awesome to see. But I thought this was maybe going to come in episode 45, because then we have episode 45's brief summary, which screams Extra Link. And if you don't know what that is, we have two extra monster zones on the board with the new Link format, and you can only summon a monster from the extra deck in those zones unless you have a Link monster pointing to a main monster zone. Then you can summon, a Synchro monster, an Xyz monster, whatever you want to do. Revolver most likely is going to be the first in Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains, and I don't know. I read somewhere that there's no current combination that lets you do this. but that article was, I think, a few months ago, so that might not be true, and I'm sure you guys could easily answer that, where you can make a combination that you basically create a U shape on your board. I'll show like a picture of it right now, where you have control of both extra monster zones, and you basically completely cut off your opponent from using any extra deck monsters. And that most likely is what they're hinting at here, that Revolver is going to set up the ultimate battle formation that, quote-unquote, transcends human intellect itself and drives Playmaker into a corner. Now, when I first read that, I immediately thought, okay, this makes perfect sense. This is when, after Revolver takes control of both of the extra monster zones and makes it impossible for Playmaker to link summon at all, this is when Playmaker is going to use his Ritual Monster, and that's when it's going to be like, what a move, because remember, Ritual Monsters are not technically extra deck monsters. They don't come from the extra deck, so Yusaku is absolutely allowed in the main monster zone to play a Ritual Monster, which would be perfect for Cyburst Magician, and when Cyburst Magician attacks a Link, it'll get 1,000 attack point bonus, so it'll be at 3,500 attack. And here's the thing, if Revolver's Topologic Gamble Dragon, which has an extra link effect, which means it would have to be linked into the other monster zone, the other extra monster zone. The extra linked effect of this monster is disgusting. You can make your opponent randomly discard up to 2 cards, then, if your opponent has no cards in their hand as a result, inflict 3,000 damage to your opponent. Basically, a direct attack with Topologic Gamble Dragon. You can only use one effect of Topologic Gamble Dragon per turn, and only once that turn. So Topologic Gamble Dragon is already a monster that has an effect when it's extra linked. So most likely, that could be the monster that Revolver extra links. And 3,000 life points, maybe it's not as destructive in the real game where you have 8,000 life points, but in the anime, when you only have 4,000 life points, that is a disgusting effect. That is an effect that wipes out 75% of your life points. So most likely, that is going to be the monster used in the extra link summoning. Of course, if Playmaker is able, and then it could be where Playmaker has no cards in his hands, and that's when he draws the Searcher. Not Cyburst Wizard. I forget what the Searcher is. I think it's like a female Cyburst Magician card. But it searches Signet Ritual, which will then maybe allow him, and it not only searches Signet Ritual, but it also searches a Cyburst Ritual monster, and that will allow him to summon Cyburst Magician to destroy Topologic Gamble or clear out one of those extra monster zones, and then Playmaker will be able to finally link summon again and maybe get Firewall onto the field, or a Code Talker, who really knows, and that could be him changing the game around. So I could see it happening that way, but the very last line in episode 44 makes me a little hesitant for that reason. Playmaker entrusts all his hope to his new ace monster, so that very well could happen. We could see Cyburst Magician, unless this is a different ace monster that we don't know anything about at the moment, which is possible. I remember when Yugioh summoned Odd Eyes Lancer Dragon against Shun, we had no prior information to that at all. We knew Shun was going to use a rank 12 in that duel, which he did, Raid Raptor's Final Fortress Falcon, but we heard no news about Odd Eyes Lancer Dragon prior to that duel. So it is possible that Playmaker will use a few new, really strong, powerful cards in this duel, but if he already uses Cyburst Magician in 44, then I don't know what he's going to really do to counter the extra link where he will not be able to link summon. It would make perfect sense for after in 45 when Revolver sets up this amazing battle formation that he will use a Ritual Monster, which would be allowed. But who really knows, guys? Can't wait to hear all your thoughts on how this duel is going to play out and what you want to see from this duel. As for my prediction, I do believe in episode 46, it's not a bold prediction, Playmaker will win this duel. I would be very surprised if it went any other way. If Playmaker doesn't win, Revolver right now is a guy who has lost everything. He has no one left in his life, and he's already stated in episode 43 that he wants to die with Spectre, with his father, with Vyra, Faust, and Gnome. Of course, his father is kind of in a different category than the other ones, because his father genuinely did die, whereas the other ones would only die if the tower went off. But, so Revolver is not going to have a change of mind if he wins. I just don't think he'll have a change of heart. There hasn't been any foreshadowing or hinting to let me believe that. So unless something happens in 44. So I don't think Revolver will win and then will change his mind about things. I really do believe that Revolver is going to lose. Everyone is going to be saved from the Tower of Hanoi, because if Revolver defeats Playmaker, then everything is destroyed, and the only character left is like Naoki and Kusanagi, and there's no way, that would happen. It would be a crazy plot twist, and then they introduce all these other new characters. It would be insane if they did it, and if they actually did it and they killed off all these characters, I don't know what the hell I would think about it, but they're not going to do it. It's just that there's no way they're going to do it. Playmaker is going to win this duel. I have seen a few people who said maybe Playmaker will lose, and then the Ignis that he has, will end up dueling Revolver and will defeat him. But because we're getting a new opening in April, because the title of 46 really sounds like it's just going to be the final episode, the circuit that draws the future, which I believe is a line in the first opening with the wind. So I just think 46 is going to end it. I don't think we're going to have the new opening begin while this arc is still going on, which again, that new opening is coming in April. I know I've said it a lot, but that leads me to believe that Playmaker is going to win this duel. Don't know what'll happen to Revolver, but I'm sure he'll stop the tower. He was good on his word when Playmaker beat him previously. And then we will go into the next arc, where maybe I'll make a video about all the things that I want to see in the next arc. Definitely a little less Yusaku, less Playmaker-centric. The plot has really been focused around him to this point, which is understandable. But, you know, there's still 5 other characters that are all linked to these Ignis, and I want to see more episodes and more arcs that maybe are entitled to those characters, that maybe are, you know, given to those characters. So I'll maybe make a video about that when this arc does come to an end. But Playmaker will win. That is my prediction. I'd love to hear from you guys, though, down below, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to wrap things up because, again, I could ramble for another 45 minutes. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave all your thoughts down below, and I hope you have an amazing day.